Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carlo Prusa MMA. Today, I am joined with top welterweight MMA prospect. He is Mr. Shimon Smotritsky taking on Sam Kilmer, Fury FC 100 championship bout, headlining one of their biggest shows in the organization's history. Shimon, we're about a month away from the contest. What's up, man? How are you doing?
Yeah, what's up, brother? Feeling good, excited. It's gonna be a big fight on the main event on the Fury 100 card. So I'm pretty excited about this. I know a lot of eyes gonna watch this. So yeah, just excited to perform my best and get this belt.
You know, already in your career, you fought on some big shows, obviously under the UFC platform, twice on the Contender, fought on some of the biggest regional scenes in the world. When you got the phone call that you were going to headline their 100th show, was that pretty cool?
Yeah, but this is what I was expected. I know like I belong to the UFC, and right now I'm gonna do it like through Fury FC, be there the main event, get the belt. It's just steps, step by step. So last time I did the co-main event, now I'm gonna be the main event, and next time I think I will be in the UFC after this fight.
You know, you're such a well-rounded mixed martial artist. I mean, if you watch you fight, very entertaining. I mean, you have that very strong striking ability, and you're very good on the ground as well with the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu. At what point in your career did you really start thinking, hey, if I'm going to chase the UFC, I'm going to chase this championship, I got to be as well-rounded as possible?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't try to be, the best like martial artist because the UFC. I just like the art in this. I'm a BJJ black belt. I'm multiple times national champion in kickboxing. I compete in everything in wrestling, in kickbox, again BJJ, wrestling. I said already. So yeah, I just enjoy the process. I try to be the best in every aspect. So I train right now with with UFC champions, with UFC top 10, top 15 guys, weight class above me. I know I'm in that level. Like I train with them every day, and I know that I'm gonna reach the same heights.
You know, you train with some of the best guys in the world, obviously at Extreme Couture. Might be the number one gym in the world. Sean Strickland, Chris Curtis, Eli's out there. I mean, names can go on and on there. How did you end up making that transition? How did you find your way in the U.S. Coming here to chase the dream?
Yeah, so it was right after my first contender. First time I've been in the US, it was when I got the opportunity for the first contender series when I was 20 years old. Before that, I never been in the US. I didn't know the how it works here, how like the level, the life, everything was very new to me. And Nathan Levy, he saw me in the gym, and he actually invited me to train with him and with Eli at the time at Syndicate. And yeah, I did there my camp for the second contender, I think. And since then, I just came back on and off, and now I moved here with my wife. And yeah, I just like the life here. I like training here, with the best guys. It motivates me a lot, that I see that I'm have the same level, have like same skill set, and yeah, now I live here.
You know, Eli's told me a bunch of times, he was a fan of Natan before he even started doing this, before he even moved to Extreme Couture. He looked up to Natan. For you, was it the same thing? Were you always a big fan of him too?
Of Nathan, I can't say I was a fan of him because like I met Nathan here in Vegas. Before that I heard about him, but we never really spoke or like be fair or something. We just heard about each other from the industry. Me and Nathan, I think we had same amount of fights when he got signed with the UFC. But yeah, since he invite me to do the camp with him with Eli, and like I saw what he reached from being here. I saw what he reached from training here. His determination. So yeah, it's like for me big brother and inspiration. Because I see what he done, and like I believe that I can also get signed with the UFC and have their big success. So yeah, we're just good friends, and he's like a big brother, helping me and Eli a lot here in everything. Help us so much. So yeah.
What is it like to be able to, be close with two guys who are one in the UFC, another one's going to the UFC very soon, and both of them are from Israel?
Uh, It's fun. It's fun because we are just like three very good friends. We are like brothers, me, Nathan, and Eli. We train together, like going out together, talking about fights together, watching our opponents always together. So it's good to have this support from each other, sharing knowledge, sharing experience, and yeah, just cheering for each other.
You guys, you've been on the Dana White Contender Series 2 times. Obviously, they didn't go the way you wanted. But what are some of the learning points? What are some of the takeaways that you took from those experiences?
Yeah, there's a lot of takeaway like and lessons, but I think the biggest one is that I fought on my first contender when I was 20, second contender 21. I came from a small country, before that I never been in the US. There was so much pressure on me, so much pressure that like before my second contender, even like Dana came to the locker room and said, guys, like even if you win by decision, we will not sign you. You have to finish the fights, like and I just like I feel like there was too much pressure that I could handle. I never had before the experience of fighting in the US, fighting with the in like a big show like this. And I think like I'm not thinking I know that I lose to myself there. I didn't lose to my opponents because my skills I know much better than those opponents, and I have nothing bad against them. But I sure that if I will see them again, like in the UFC cage, I will win them without any doubt. And yeah, man, I just think I was too young and unexperienced.
By the time you're 20 years old, you had 8 pro fights already, which is something that's absolutely crazy. Did you have an amateur career?
That's the thing. I didn't have any amateur career. I jumped straight away to the pro fights, and yeah, when I fought, like I fought before that in Bellator, Israel. I fought in Russia a couple times. Like the opponents that I fought in Russia was much, I think, more dangerous and more have better skills than my opponent on contenders. But the thing that in Russia, like, you know, I just fought. I didn't thought like that. I have a whole country behind me. I didn't carry all this weight on my shoulders. And when I went to contenders twice, I always thought like what people will think if this happen or that happen. Like so much expectations. I thought that just to fight the way I'm used to fight is not enough. That I need to look for big punches, big finishes, to do big moves. And I think I just made too much errors emotionally and tactical errors, and this is what cost me the fights. But I'm not regret because you can see many young fighters getting signed in the UFC through the contender, and like they still don't have the experience they need. They still don't have like they're not mature enough, not old enough, to compete against the best, and then they losing like 2-3 fights, getting cut, and that's it. That I know that if I would win those fights and get signed in the UFC, it would very, very hard for me, to win their fights at that point because man, 170 like welterweight, it's very, very competitive division. It's why I think one of the best like in the world, and I know that when I will get signed now, I'm now 24 years old. I'm in my peak. I feel the strongest I've ever been mentally and physically. Like it's a huge difference between 20 years old Shimon and 24 years old Shimon. Huge difference. And now, when I'll get signed, so I'll just smash my way to the top.
You've already fought on one of the biggest shows in the world in Bellator MMA. Your second time fighting with them, Eli Gladicki, huge first round knockout. Walk me through that finish.
Yeah, it was a cool experience, definitely. But still, like I was already in Bellator, I didn't have the pressure that I need to finish a fight to get signed, and this is what messed with my head. And yeah, that no amateur fights, came from a small country to the now to the UFC, like a limousine, like they meet me in the airport limousine with the driver, took me to the fighter hotel. I was like, man, it's crazy, like everything here, how like everything changed so fast. But now I live here. I train with UFC fighters every day. Like I see I go to the Performance Institute a couple times a week to the headquarters. I've been there a lot of times. I've been twice in the Apex. I fought there. Another time I cornered Matan in the Apex. And yeah, I just get used to the UFC. I feel like UFC is my home, and soon it will be my real home. And now when I will fight for the UFC, it will be no surprise, It just feel natural.
You train with one of the most popular, charismatic, crazy guys in the world, in Sean Strickland. What's it like having Sean Strickland as a teammate? Is what we see on TV what happens in the gym with Sean Strickland?
Yeah, what you see on TV, I don't know.
Is he just crazy, swearing, going nuts, just having a good time every day?
Sometimes, yes, sometimes. But no, he's actually like a good teammate. He try to push us. He have his like weird way, of pushing you to do better. But in the end of the day, he have a good like he want to make you better. He want you to push harder in trainings. He don't want you to be lazy in certain positions. So he doing everything he can that like you will become better after trainings. He comes, he like giving us some tips, talking with us about like fight tactics, strategy. So yeah, I train with him like a lot. Like every sparring session, I'm doing with him between 1 to 3 rounds. I'm getting very good experience to fight with him against, especially like you have a like very unique style, all the time pressure, standing very tall. It's like for me, it's very good experience because I'm getting another look that I I didn't have before because no one fights like him. So it's
Through interviewing fighters and everything, I've been to a lot of the regional shows, and I'll never forget one. And that was when you fought Charlie Decca. That was Orlando Icon, I think number 6, a couple years ago. I will never forget the weigh-ins. I don't know if you remember, but a huge brawl broke out with Joe Penafiel and a couple other guys. Jorge Masvidal's there. Levi works with them. He's getting punched in the face and stuff. You remember that? Were you near all of that stuff?
yeah, I've been there like right after we finished the waiting. I'm sitting like drinking my electrolytes, and then I see like chair like in the air flying. So someone said, and people jumping each other, start to punch each other, and like I see like huge brawl, and thinking like, guys, you're fucking crazy. You're gonna fight tomorrow, and now like you're fighting for free. Tomorrow you're gonna get paid for this. You're gonna have your record online, and it was just stupid. And I saw like Masvidal like stop them, even everything, but it was crazy, bro. The whole event like was, I don't know. I didn't enjoy my experience there. Let's say that.
I think a lot of people watch mixed martial arts in this day and age. I think they look at the big names, the John Joneses, the Conor McGregors, the Habibs, and people are like, wow, this is amazing. It must be the best thing ever to be a mixed martial artist. The fame, the glory, they make a lot of money. Little do they know, when you're fighting on the regional scene, you're not making a lot of money right away. A lot of guys have 9 to 5 jobs. They have kids. They have a wife to support. You have to pay a gym membership to pay to train. You have to deal with a bunch of guys who want it just as bad as you. You're punching them in the face. They're punching you in the face every single day. You have to miss birthdays, miss holidays, can't go home. You've been doing this for quite a while now, man. What's making you want to keep pushing and keep kicking through?
Yeah. What the question?
What's made you want to keep pushing and keep kicking through all the sacrifices of being a professional mixed martial artist?
My goal is first goal is to enter the UFC. Second goal get the top 15, and the end goal is to become the UFC champion. And this is like as I said in the start of the interview, I always like thinking about the next fight, and like everything is step by step. But I have like goals for the upcoming year, get signed. Goal for the next 3 years, top 15. Goal for the next 5 years, it's becoming a UFC champion, and take care of my family, my wife, my parents. I like help whoever I can, and bring pride to Israel. Become first UFC champion from Israel. Uh, and just do stuff, fulfill my dream. Because like I watch fights, I watch UFC since I'm like 10 years old, and I always wanted to be like these badass guys, that I watch on TV. So it will be like, fulfill my the 10 years old Shimon dream.
All right, so you're taking on Sam Kilmer, Fury, number 100 overall. What do you think of him as an opponent?
What I think about my opponent?
Yeah.
I think he's a good fighter. Like if you watch his fights, you can see that he's heavy grappler. He's like open very, very hard in the first round, then kind of gases. He's very one-dimensional. I think it's a good fight for me. I don't think it's something special, honestly. Like, okay, you want to grapple with me, grapple. Like, I'm a BJJ black belt. I'm like a Israel national champion in Greco-Roman wrestling. You can scare me with grappling. But overall, I'm much more skilled fighter, and I can understand why he took the fight with me. Like I have a name, I have a good record. I've been on Contender Series, but for him, it's just gonna be a bad night, and I'm very confident in my win. I know I will do it very like dominant, and yeah, you will see the fight. I have nothing to add on. I know I will get this belt and then sign with the UFC sooner or later. So that's the game plan.
Has it been difficult for you to find fights? Do a lot of guys turn you down?
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard because if you see my record, like I fought 2023 once, this year once, because I was supposed to fight this year in March for Tough Enough. Opponent pulled out 10 days before. Then Fury told me like, okay, you will fight in May, push back to June. Okay, then like they told me like November or December title fight because I'm already on a 2-win streak, and they offered me a guy, not for the title. I asked like why the guy don't want to fight for the title. I said like, for me to get a Fury title, it's a big deal. Like to be a Fury champion, it's like something very meaningful, and it's something that they promised me and I wanted. So then they told me like, okay, we have another guy for the title, Sam Kilmer, but for only January. So it's hard because a lot of people say no, and you know the promotions doing what convenient for them, but I don't blame them. Yeah, I wish I could fight more, but right now I focus on my next fight. It's in less than 4 weeks. I'm ready.
You feel like by the end of next year, you're going to be in the UFC in one way, shape, or form?
For sure. For sure. As I told you, off the record, I got already some opportunity, but I will not talk about this. I already got a couple more, but still, again, right now I focus on my next fight in 3.5 weeks for Fury. I strongly believe that after this, I'll get opportunity with the UFC because I have a good record. I'm young. I did major, like huge improvement since my fight 3 years ago on the Contender, and I think I'm an exciting fighter. I'm always looking to finish the fights, and this is what the UFC likes. And yeah, that's the plan.
What would it mean for you to be able to fight and get signed to the UFC?
To what?
What would it mean to be signed to the UFC and be a UFC fighter?
Yeah, it will be great, but again, it's something that it will be like the first goal that like checked, like the first dream come true. Okay, then next, it's something that I'm expect. It's not will be shocking for me because I'm working so hard. I sacrificed so much, so many years. My skill set is like very good in everything, and I going, in this direction. So like when the UFC call will come, it's not like I'll be surprised. Oh, I can't believe. No, it's something that I knew that will come sooner or later. So I'm just staying ready, always training, always in shape, and yeah, I'm just waiting patiently.
Has the adversity from the Contender Series and the DECA fight, has that helped make you a stronger person mentally?
The contender, yes. The contender, yes. It's like gave me proportions. That in the end of the day doesn't matter, like which fight it will be, contender, UFC, Fury belt, whatever. Like the fight is a fight. I'm always stay calm, and when I stay calm, I'm the most dangerous, and I always stick to my game plan. And yeah, again, when I stick to my game plan and not go crazy emotional or like thinking about too much things during the fight, so I always win my fights. The only 2 fights that I lost, it's when like my body was in the cage, but my head not. Like I was thinking too much distractions. I was born out like mentally. Again, I told you all the pressure, all the expectations, and I just wasn't ready for this. But now I have the experience. I know that like I don't care anymore. Where I fight, I keep the same assassin that I am, and yeah, that's about the contender. About the DECA fight, the fight, this fight, he just ruined the fight. Like I was winning very clearly 2 rounds, and in the end of the second, like he gave me this illegal knee, even though like I was in a ground position, and the referee like scream, like shout, like grounded fighter, and he still gave me his knee, in my head, and then I have like like a grenade. And yeah, I couldn't continue the fight. But yeah, it just like sucks. But it's already happened. There's nothing I can do. I did the best I could, and he just probably this is the way he want to run from the fight, escape. Maybe he hoped it will be no contest. I don't know.
No, it's crazy. You're 11-2 fighter, 13 pro MMA contests. You're only 24 years old. For you, even, do you sometimes look back at it and be like, "Wow, I'm so young. Like, how have I accomplished all this so far?"
I don't know. I don't think about my age too much because like when I fought my first contender at 20, I was 7-0, and like people tell me, bro, you're so young, so young. And I'm like, no, I have already like 7 fights. I don't feel young. I feel like I'm in my prime. But no, man, like compared to now to my first two contenders, is I'm telling you different like man. Like my body, my physique, my mentality, I'm way more mature, and yeah, I'm now just different. I'm getting like every year to my peak. I truly believe like my peak will be 27, 28. I'm still not in my peak, but right now I'm the best I've been in my career. I can see this on the rounds. I will not say names, but top UFC guys like division above me that 2 years ago like I couldn't do with them like anything. Barely I could do something, and today we are very tight in our rounds, like very very equal. You know, so I just getting better, stronger, and yeah, my time will come in the UFC very soon.
All right, Shimon, last question for you, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome we take on Sam Kilmer for that title? January 12th, Fury FC 100.
Perfect world, I will knock him out. I really think I will knock him out. I don't know if it's like in the first round, but I think he will. I will damage him a lot. Step by step, slowly. I will hit him again and again and again. If you want to grapple, you will come try to grapple with me. I'm the better grappler, and yeah, just do damage from everywhere until it will break.
Well, Shimon, man, I can't wait for the fight. I'm excited to see you back in action, man. And I'm feeling we're going to be talking to you a lot of times because you're going to have a very long and successful career in this business.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. And January 12th, we're coming for the belt.
Absolutely. That's it for us tonight. That is Mr. Shimon Smotritsky. I'm Fight Dr. Carl Prusa.